Hello my loves, how are you diddling? Okie dokie, today's candle is spiced white cocoa again. So I'm going in with Diamond Nail Supply's Brilliance, which is their white acrylic powder, and I'm using their monomer. And I'm going to do a kind of sideways diagonal colour block. So I'm working quite dry with this. I like the fact it's not too sticky because I'm not really having huge issues with like a messy brush, which is great. I'm just going to add another bead because I want more of a line, and then I'll use my brush to nudge that up and take off any excess. Give my brush a good clean, remove some of the liquid from the brush because obviously I don't want to make the beads too much wetter. Ooh, had a bit stuck there. Sticky bit. Hey, have you seen my song? I did a nail tech song. I thought it was quite funny. It was just stuck in my head, so I thought I'd do it to get it out of my head and onto my little notebook. So I'm just building that up until I'm happy with the line and with the coverage. As always, I'm using my flexi finger to practice on. I think my code's still active for my flexi finger, the discount code. So if it is, well, try it. It should be. You can grab yourself a discount. I also have a discount code for Diamond Nail Supplies, and I have a discount code for Navy Pro Tools. I am now an official ambassador. I'm so excited, and I've got more announcements coming up. I'm super duper excited for 2019. It's going to be good. Sorry if you see the odd vibration on the camera, but I had it on a big tripod on my ring light, but it was a busy day, and every time somebody kind of stomped past, the floorboards wobbled. You know, when you have like wood flooring, sometimes the vibration just is too much for the camera. So I'm using my brush to sort of sharpen up that wall, because obviously we're going to file it in, but the sharper it is with your brush, the less filing you have to do, the more simple it's going to be to get a nice crisp line. So once I'm happy with that bead, I will let it just cure for a bit. I'm just adding a little bit more up by the cuticle because it was thinner than the other areas, and I want that consistency. Sorry about the camera shaking. So I'm going to let that set for a bit, and then I'm going to come in and file, and like the magic of editing, it was instantaneous. So I'm going to use the 100 grit side of my file, and I'm going to crisp up that line. So what you do is you push that file against the line, not down on the tip, because if you're pressing that down on the tip on a client, that could be extremely uncomfortable, and also you could risk breaking it. Then you want to remove all the dust, because obviously you can't lay product down on a dusty surface, so make sure you remove all the dust. And I'm then going to go in with Clarity Clear from Diamond Nail Supplies and Holo Chunky Copper Holo Chunky, I'll get it right in a minute, from the Unicorn's Den, which is amazing. I love this colour. I love it so much. And I'm basically going to do another diagonal colour block section. So it's in itself, it's quite a simple design. It really is. Well, if you've got your colour blocking down, this is a very simple and effective design because it looks really different, but it's not difficult to do. So you can incorporate this into a very simple set of nails and really kind of make your work stand out from possibly other nail techs in your area, and just kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. God, that keeps shaking. I was getting quite angry actually because I was like, stop bouncing near. It was my husband. He was messing about with with our son. and they kept running through. Crazy people. So once that has set and the glitter's in place, I'll then go in with quite a, not a super wet bead, kind of medium consistency bead, but I will keep as much liquid on my brush as I can before I wipe it off, just to feed that bead a little bit so I can move it around. And I often just stroke a bit of monomer over the glitter before I apply the capping bead, just to make sure that it's all nice and damp, and it's going to adhere nicely, and we're not going to have any shadowing, we're not going to have any dust, anything like that. And then I'll start keeping my brush a bit drier so that I can pat this into place without feeding it too much monomer, otherwise it's just going to keep sort of getting more and more sloppy. That's a terrible word to use as a descriptive word. If your brush is wet and you keep touching the bead is going to become thinner and thinner because you're feeding it monomer. So if you want to start pressing the design into place, clean your brush off and just keep it clean but not wet, and that way it's easier. But I'm basically doing exactly the same, just the other way around. And again, I will let that set fully so you can tap it and it clicks, makes that noise, and then I'll go in and file that side in as well. Remove the dust, and then we're going back in with Brilliance, which is the white from Diamond Nail Supplies. And I'm using a slightly smaller bead and a little bit wetter because I'm going to apply some metallic leaf foil things that I got from Beauty Big Bang. I have got a design coming up that is everything I use in it apart from my acrylic system is from Beauty Big Bang, because they sent me some bits and said, you know, what can you do with this? So I will do that after Christmas, and then I can put in links and codes and things for you. But as you can see, this is the foil from Beauty Big Bang, and it's completely inexpensive. You literally get a whole set of 3, 6, 9, I think it's 12 pots for just a few pounds. It's really, really, really good value if you just want something simple. So I'm applying quite a dry bead. Again, I'm keeping monomer in my brush to move that bead around. And then I'll just feather that back to join up with the previous bead and start tapping it and pulling it into place. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat, you know. I had a stray bit of glitter just like trying to get in on the action. Get out of it. So I'll drag the end of the bead, not drag it, I'll feather it down just so there's no harsh line. And I put way too much of a bead here and it was too wet and it just started falling off, so I just scooped it up and cleaned my brush. And then just one more little wet bead there just to tie everything in, make sure it's all nice and even, check on my angles, tap it into place. I was a bit peeved that that side went a bit wonky, so I had to rectify that with filing, which just meant I had to file a little bit more. But basically, ooh, nearly dropped my MacBook then. Basically, that's how it goes. If you're neat with your brush, you file less. If you lose track of what you're doing with your brush, then you file more. And I had to file a bit more on this one because I was being distracted by an annoying man who is my husband and should know bloody better. I need a trapdoor, just like ka-ching, and it falls down into the abyss. So I'm doing the same as I always do, side walls and free edge, around the cuticle area, through the body of the nail. Always moving my brush, changing the angle of it, rotating it over the body of the nail from side to side so that it really softens the edges and ties them into the main body of the nail. And I'll keep doing that until I'm happy with it. And then I always go back over the sides before I've finished, because obviously I've done the body of the nail, I might do some of the underneath, as I'm doing here. And then I'll always just quickly whiz over the side walls again before I officially declare to myself that I'm done. It's just habit. But that's good. If you form a habit and you have a filing routine and it's the same on every nail, your result will be the same on every nail, so you're not going to have inconsistencies in a set of nails. So I've got a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on my brush, and I'm just cleaning all the dust off, getting right behind that bead because I can pull the tip forward and then push it back, just to make sure there's no dust in my top coat. And then I'm going in with Diamond Nail Supply's tack-free top coat, which is super shiny. I've had people say, oh, the shine on that top coat, and I'm like, I know, it's so good. Very impressed. I am very impressed. And I've used it on white and it is non-yellowing. I have no yellowing or anything like that, so I'm really impressed with that. And that is the design. It's very simple, but very effective. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tally bye!